Today, I'm going to take a common ingredient like ground beef and use it 3 different ways to make recipes that can please a crowd. So we all love ground beef, but sometimes you find yourself making a lot of burgers and spaghetti and think, what else can I do with this great product? So we've got 3 different recipes that are all very different and are great to feed a crowd. First off, I've got enchilada meatballs. Next, I've got crispy beef stogies. And finally, I've got beef larb lettuce cups. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more recipes and techniques. First, we're starting with the enchilada meatballs. I've got a 90% lean ground beef. Usually I use 80-20, but the reason I like it a little bit leaner for this recipe is the fact that I've got eggs and cheese going into the middle of these meatballs, and I don't want them coming out too greasy. The first thing I'll do is cube the cheese. And I'll start off by cutting this in half, and then in half again. Now each of these I'll cut into 3 pieces. And I'll cut them one more time to make sure that I've got 24 cubes of cheese. So I'll set this aside because I'm going to use this to stuff into my meatballs. So now we'll take the ground beef and mix it with some crushed tortilla chips. What I did here is just put them into a Ziploc bag and crush them with a rolling pin. This will replace our breadcrumbs in this recipe. I've got 1 packet of taco seasoning, easy enough, and then 2 eggs. Now I'm going to put gloves on just because it does get a little messy. The other option is you could put it into a stand mixer with a paddle attachment. I'm just going to mix until I can tell all the ingredients are well incorporated and the seasoning is evenly distributed throughout. Now that I've got everything thoroughly incorporated into this meatball mixture, I'm going to portion it out into 24 equal portions. So I've got a baking dish and I've got a measuring cup that's a 1/4 cup. So we'll use this to roughly portion out these meatballs. And the reason I portioned this out ahead of time was to ensure that the meatballs are all the same size and I have enough for all of the cubes of cheese. Now we'll get to stuffing the meatballs. Now we'll grab a portion of the meat, start to lay it flat, and then I'll take a cube of cheese, press it down into the middle, and wrap the ground beef right around it. Now once that's in the center, just kind of roll it into a ball shape and put it right back into that baking dish. So we'll do this with each one until all the cheese is used up. Next, we'll just add the enchilada sauce right on top. I'm trying to go between the meatballs a little bit to ensure that they're swimming in that sauce as they cook. And now we'll go into a 350-degree oven for 30 to 40 minutes. So for the next recipe, we'll be making the crispy beef stogies. You got a delicious ground beef filling in a crispy wonton wrapper, and then a sweet and sour dipping sauce that really complements it well. So I'm going to preheat my pan to a medium-high heat and add a little bit of canola oil. Now that the pan's hot, I'll add the ground beef. So I'm allowing this to get a deep brown on it because I really want to develop the flavor of the ground beef. I want to chop it up finely because eventually we'll be putting it into an egg roll wrapper and rolling it up. And if it's really chunky, it's a little harder to roll into these cigar shapes. So now we'll season with a little salt, some pepper. We'll go in with some yellow onion and about 2 cloves worth of garlic. So I'm leaving all that fat in the pan because I want to use that to help saute all these vegetables that I'm adding. So this is something that I like using 80-20 and I don't want to drain it because we've got more things adding to it. And if you don't have a little bit of that fat in the pan, they won't saute properly. So this will cook for an additional 2 minutes. So next we'll be adding in the slaw mix and soy sauce. So the reason I really like using slaw mix for this is because it has 2 ingredients that I'd be putting in anyways, which are cabbage and carrots, but it saves me the trouble of cutting them all up. And be aware, this is undressed coleslaw mix, not coleslaw. So it is just shredded cabbage and carrots. This is done cooking now. The cabbage has wilted a little bit. We've got a little bit of cook on the onions and the carrots, and that's all we're looking for here. We just want everything nice and pliable so that when we put it in that wrapper, it's easy to manage. So now I want to let this cool down because it's going to go into an egg roll wrapper, and we want it to cool down so it's cool enough to handle. It doesn't have to be cold. It doesn't have to be quite room temp. You just want to make it manageable to handle and not too hot because it'll make the egg roll wrapper sticky. So while that cools, we'll go on to make the dipping sauce for the Stogies. It's really simple. We take 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and add it to our remaining 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. I'm using this as the base for my slurry, which is the thickening agent in the sauce. So now to our saucepan, we will add a half cup of water, white vinegar, sugar, and sambal. So sambal is a fermented chili paste that is one of my favorite things to use for a little bit of spice and a ton of flavor. So now we'll stir this while we bring it to a quick boil. We want to make sure the sugar fully dissolves and everything's kind of incorporated. It's always important to remember when you're making a cornstarch slurry, you want to use water, or in this case I use soy sauce, that's no warmer than room temperature. Cold is also good. You don't want it to be warm or else it clumps. That's come to a rolling boil. Give this one more quick stir to make sure all the cornstarch is off the bottom. We'll add that in. Again, whisk it. Let it boil, and cornstarch works really fast. So it only takes about 30 seconds and the sauce is done. All right, it's good to go. We'll remove that from the heat. We'll let that cool a little bit while we make our beef Stogies. Now that the filling is cooled down enough to work with, I'll start assembling the Stogies. What I have here are just some egg roll wrappers that I bought at the grocery store. I'll take about a 1/4 cup of the filling. I'll put it on one side of the egg roll wrapper, and then on the opposite side, I'll brush with just a little bit of water. That'll act as my glue. Then I'll just take it, roll it, and here's the important step. You want to kind of pull back to get these tight. And I'll even do it a couple times just to ensure that I get a nice, even cylinder. It's okay if a little bit of the filling sneaks out. It'll still be on the inside. And then just start rolling. You just want to keep it nice and tight, then roll right across that watered edge. Maybe push in from the sides if any of the filling starts to come out, and then put them on your baking sheet. And now I'll just repeat that until I've used up all the filling. Now that these are all assembled, I'll just take some butter and lightly brush the tops of each one. These will help them to become very crisp and delicious. So now I'll put these into a preheated 425-degree oven for 10 minutes. After that, I'll rotate the pan 180 degrees and put them in for another 5 or until they're golden brown and delicious. Next we'll be moving on to the beef larb. It's very aromatic and has lots of fresh flavors. And when you're using this many nice ingredients, it's important to use quality beef. So I'm using certified Angus beef, 80% lean ground beef. But first, I'll be prepping the aromatics, so let's get this out of the way. So I'll start with the shallot. So I treat a shallot much like just dicing an onion. So I make a few slits with the grain of the shallot, then a couple vertical so that I can finely mince this as I go through it. Next we'll go to the lemongrass. So the lemongrass is a little bit stalky. It is actually like a grass, so you've got a lot of layers to it. And the outside layers are very woody. So I usually peel back 1 or 2 layers, and then some of this top stuff you probably won't end up using. It's extremely woody. It may not be something that you cook with very often or at all, but if you can find it, I highly suggest using it. It's extremely aromatic, has a ton of flavor. So my tip with this that I like to do is I use a sturdy knife, and I actually take the blunt end of the knife and break up the lemongrass before I start trying to chop it. Like I said, it's very woody, so by doing this, you start to break up the fibers. And then again, if I see really fibrous stuff, I'll go ahead and peel that off. So now this is a little bit more tender on the inside here. And you want to finely mince this because it can still be a bit woody, but the flavor you're going to get out of it is so intense that you won't notice the texture if you get it nice and fine. All right, there you go, lemongrass is done. Finally, we'll use the ginger. So I'll take the end off of that because the end tends to be a little dried out. And then what I'll do is I'll use a teaspoon just to peel the ginger. The contour of the spoon just will take that rough peel of the ginger right off. Then I'm going to use about an inch to an inch and a half of that ginger. And what I like to do, kind of treat it like garlic, cut it into some small medallions, and just give it a quick crush with the side of my knife. Again, this helps to break up the fibrousness of that ginger because it technically is a root, so it is a bit fibrous. And then I'll just go through and give it a quick mince. All right, and there we have it. All of our aromatics nice and finely cut. I'm going to preheat my pan to a medium high, and I'm going to add some canola oil. Just a little bit, just to kind of get a non-stick layer going on that pan. So I'm just going to move the oil around. Run it a little fast, so that way I know that it's gotten nice and hot. So now I'll add in the ground beef. So now that we've added the ground beef, we're going to brown for 3 minutes. And I'll season it with some salt and pepper. So now that I've got a good brown on that, I'll add in my aromatics. So I've got the ginger, lemongrass, and shallots I just chopped up. Those will all go in, as well as some garlic. And then I had sliced some scallions. So I'd actually separated the whites from the greens. The greens I'll use as a final garnish, and the whites, I'll put in some of the whites now, because those can kind of handle the high heat, whereas the greens will wilt, get a little slimy, so I like to use those as more of a final garnish. So now I'll let this saute for an additional 3 minutes. You can really smell all those fresh ingredients in here. So now that I've let those saute for another few minutes, I'm going to add in some of the liquids. I've got a tablespoon of soy sauce, tablespoon of sambal chili paste, and then the juice of 1 lime. So now I'll turn the heat down just a little bit because I just want that to simmer for a few minutes, reduce, and kind of coat all the beef, make a little bit of a sauce. Now that this is simmered for a couple of minutes, I'm going to turn off the heat, and then I'll plate it up and serve it with some Bibb lettuce leaves. So I just pulled the enchilada meatballs out of the oven, and some of the cheese is kind of oozing out, but there's plenty in there, so I wouldn't be worried about that. Sour cream can be a little messy to deal with, so I'll put it into the bag, get it all down to one side of the bag, take some kitchen shears, just cut the tip of that bag off, and then I can just squeeze it right onto these meatballs. That way you get that sour cream kind of evenly distributed over across the top. And now, got some of these scallions that I cut up earlier. Because a lot of these dishes have scallions in them, I went ahead and cut up a whole bunch. So I'll just garnish over the top. And there you go, the finishing touches on the enchilada meatballs. So next, we got the larb. So I've got the sauteed ground beef with all those aromatics. This one's nice and easy. The dish itself is done, but you just want to give it that final touch of some fresh herbs. So here I've got some cilantro and mint that are chopped up. I'm going to go on heavy with those. And then some more of those scallion greens from earlier. Finally, I've got the crispy beef stogies. You get these on the platter here. And then you see we've got our dipping sauce all ready to go, which is nice and sweet and spicy. And there you have it. 3 different ground beef recipes that'll add a little bit of variety to your next family function or group gathering. So remember to like and comment below on what you thought about these recipes, and we'll see you next time in the test kitchen.